I guess we're walking. Yeah. Yeah. We're walking. That's right, we're walking in the hall. Walking in the hall. Gonna find out about someone new today. Finding out something about that friend. Gonna learn something new today. Here at Weston Elementary. Gonna find out about someone new. Each and every episode. All right, Charlie, that's pretty good. Let's get the show started.
Hello, Eagle Nation. It's your elementary principal, Mr. Meyer, back with another episode of Walking the Halls with the Principal. Today, I am walking the halls with someone who has been in education and in schools for almost 4 decades. She's been with us for a good portion of that time. She's one of our wonderful paraprofessionals. She is retiring at the end of this year. Her name is Cathys Housner. Let's get to meet Mrs. Housner. Well, hello, Mrs. Housner. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Meyer. I am fine, thank you.
Would you like to go walk the halls with the principal today?
Sure.
Wonderful. We're going to start with our three things.
Okay.
We play it every episode, and it goes like this. I say 3 things, and you just tell me one person,
Okay.
one place, one thing that you think of when I say Weston.
All right.
Let's start with a person.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to have to start with John Klang because he hired me. I was lucky enough to be hired by John, and I was here 1 whole year with him, and then the next year, of course, we lost him. And he was a very loving, caring man that really put everyone else first.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate that I met him.
Okay, Mr. Klang was just a very impactful leader in our community, and so, wow, I didn't know that. All right, so that's the person. How about a place?
Okay, well, I have been on the playground all 16 years that I've been here,
Yeah?
so
Okay.
I have lots of memories of the playground. And one thing that I really like about it is such a beautiful place. And fall is my favorite time of year, and in the fall you can see all the surrounding hills and the trees, and even the trees on our playground are beautiful. And I think how fortunate we are to live in a community where it's so beautiful.
And for those of you who don't know what it's like on our playground in the winter, it's windy out there, isn't it?
Real. I have actually sort of leaned back into the wind, and it holds me up.
That's incredible. That's no lie. That's for real. Okay, so our place is the playground, and then first place in the thing.
Okay, well, lots of things came to mind, but one thing that I think a lot of people probably never have experienced would be when we have our fall harvest fest, and one person in the community owns an apple press, and it's a big contraption, sort of like a wagon, and numerous people fill it up with our apples right from our own orchard and press fresh apple cider, and it is so good. I'm not an apple person or apple cider or apple juice, but I like that.
Yeah, it sounds
it's really
delicious.
good.
Wonderful. Well, you just played 3 things. Nice
right.
job. All right. Well, we got that under our belt. Let's try. Let's dive in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So you said that you've been here for 16 years, but
Right.
you've been in education for how long now?
About 36 years.
36
Little
years.
more, probably.
So, where did you start in education, and tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, well, I started in Sun Prairie because that's where we lived, and I got involved probably because one of my children is dyslexic,
Okay.
and I was always doing homework with him, and I liked to go to school to see what they were doing so I could help him at home. And so I started volunteering, and I volunteered for I don't know how many years. And they said to me, why don't you become an aide? And I said, I did not finish college. And at that time, you didn't have to have a degree. So I did. I applied to become an aide, and I did. in September of 1985. I started in the high school with young adults
Okay.
that were 18 to 21.
Okay.
So
And then after that, you
Yeah.
came.
we came back home. I
Okay.
graduated from Ithaca.
Mhm.
My husband graduated from Richland Center.
Okay.
And so we wanted to come back home. And so I applied to work here and was lucky enough to get a job.
Wonderful. And was all of the time that you've been here always in the elementary?
1 year, 1 year I was high school, middle school, elementary.
Okay.
That was
okay.
quite a year when we were testing and the schedules changed.
Mhm.
That would be real exciting.
Yeah.
None of them corresponded to each other.
Okay, a lot of walking
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
Going on. All right, all right. All right. So at the end of this year, you're formally going to
Yeah,
retire from
yeah.
being in the school.
That is
That doesn't
right.
mean you retire from life, though, Kathy.
No,
So what are you up to after retirement?
Well,
Any ideas?
probably not a lot. I've got a big stack of books I want to read.
Okay.
And I need to weed my flower beds.
All right.
You can't hardly see my flowers. And hopefully, once COVID is gone, I'll be able to see my grandchildren and great-grandchildren
Okay.
more. I've hardly seen them.
And are they in the area, Kathy?
Yeah, the one that lives the farthest away is just Waterloo, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So they're close.
Wonderful. There has to, in those years, 36 years, and there must be something that sticks out as a funny memory or a thing that comes to mind.
Well,
Anything you want to share?
there have been a couple. One of the students that I worked with for a long time here, because I was an aide with the class that graduated in 2019. I was with them a lot. And one day walking down the hall, one of the boys said to me, "How long have you been doing this here?" And I said, 13 years. And he said, "And you're still not a teacher." And I said, "Let that be a lesson to you." I said, "You're right, I'm not." And then this year, we had sort of a funny thing with the staff. I always bring in my puppet groundhog because after living 40-some years in Sun Prairie, and they have a groundhog, I bring my puppet in and entertain the 4-year-olds. And this year, one of the staff said, "Well, I didn't know he wasn't real." She said, "For 4 years I've been following her around, taking pictures of her and her groundhog, and now I find out he's a puppet." So we all sort of got a chuckle about that.
I do have to say, for a minute there, when I saw that for the first time, I thought it was real for the first time too. For a second, you had me going. We'll have to get some video of you with that later for sure. So, well, that's pretty funny. All right, well, I'd like to maybe I'd like to find out what kind of advice our guests might have for parents or for students, and how they might be successful supporting their child at school through this experience. You've sort of seen all levels, so you have, I think, a nice perspective on this. So
I don't know.
what might be some good advice to a parent trying to support their own child at home?
Well, one thing I did is I read to my children a lot because I love to read. When my children were just babies, I would hold them on their lap and show them picture books with just like an orange on the page.
Yeah.
And I also read to my children clear through high school, read them chapter books.
Okay.
And I think that showed my children that reading was important.
Yep.
And they all love to read now. And I think just love your children.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard, but if you're there and try and really support them, that's what they need, is your love and your support.
Well, that's great advice.
Okay,
Absolutely. So we end every episode the same way. So out there in Eagle Nation, you can help us too. But soar, eagle, soar.
Eagle pride.
Walking in the hall, gonna find out about someone new today. Finding out something about that friend, gonna learn something new today. Here at Weston